You're watching the Dallas Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. If you want to be a part of these mailbags, then you have to be subscribed. Otherwise, there's just no way of you getting on the show. All right, first up from Teague Motorsports. I'm pronouncing the first name. I hope it's T. I have no idea how to pronounce it, but T Motorsports. If you can re-sign 3 players, who do you keep? Jaron Kearse, I guess Gallup, and Randy Gregory. And Dalton Schultz is also firmly in that category for me as well. Nick Lanham, would you draft Justyn Ross from Clemson in the later rounds? If he is there, yeah, I would. I don't know if he gets out of the top 100. Ross had a really interesting guy. I've done a lot of my notes on Ross. Right, I'll pull him up here. Ross was a vertical threat to begin his career at Clemson, averaged something like 20 yards per catch his first season. The last couple years, when he missed 2020 due to a red flag neck issue, he averaged 11. They turned him into a big slot guy. Possession receiver, good hands. I worry about the separation ability in the end. Day 3 in round 4, heck yeah. Don't know if he's going to be there, though. That's a good question, Nick. Super chat from Brian Parson. Would you rather have Tyrann Mathieu, Marcus Maye, or Jessie Bates? Jessie Bates has tackling issues, but he makes plays on the football at free safety. So I would like to have Jessie Bates. I would then like Tyrann Mathieu and then Marcus Maye. I'm not going to get my hopes up, though, for any of those guys. Hopefully they pay Jaron Kearse, though. All right, super chat from Brett. Easiest way to trigger Tony Romo for head coach, Tom Brady for QB, and cut Dak Prescott. Brett, I'm glad you're having fun. There was a lot of angst and anger early in the live show, so I'm glad you're having fun today, and thank you for the super chat. All right, don't do it. Would you trade La'el Collins for a second rounder? Tough one. You would think that it would save you money by trading away La'el Collins. Not so fast. $15 million cap it, because his cap this year was super low. Like, you didn't pay him hardly anything relative to normal years. You only save $1 million and change with a trade. So you got to get a premium pick if you're going to, because the savings aren't there. After June 1st, you'd save $10 million. But you can't get the pick this year. So I would probably move Collins to left guard before I would trade him. But if you get to draft night and you get a left guard in round 1, if you take Kenyon Green, then I would be more open to shopping Collins unless you really want to have Terrence Steele as your true swing tackle. But in terms of fixing your immediate needs on the offensive line, I'd have just moving Collins to guard. What would you guys do? Because I am kind of angry with him with the way he's gone the past 2 years. The frustration, it is shared in that team, or with that team as well. So what would you do? Type K for keep Collins, or type in D for dump. This is the pinned comment on today's video, so if the ad break comes, take advantage of it and let me know. From Jay Woolsey, Jahan Dotson, second round. I don't think he gets there. I think Dotson goes top 50 minimum. If he's there, I would absolutely take him. But I think if you want him, you have to take him in the first round. From Manny Boy, 86. Anyone who thinks this offense is better without Cooper, we saw it in KC. How did that look? I mean, we've seen it before, right? And in general, I don't think your offense gets better by just dumping your receiver. Now, maybe make an argument, you save the money, you add others, you're better. This team is better when Amari Cooper is involved. And that, to me, was a play-calling issue this year for Kellen Moore and company. Super chat from Cooper Bowman. $2, no question, but Cooper, thank you very much. From Bossman Fat, who is more likely to have a bigger role next year, Nashon Wright or Reggie Robinson? Good question. I think I'm going to go Nashon Wright. Robinson was an IR stash this year. Dan Quinn was a big factor in the drafting of Nashon Wright, and there's a chance that Robinson ends up getting released. So I'm going to go with Wright as the safe pick on that one. From Roger, if we don't draft a center, who will be available in the second round? Everybody else, Donovan West from Arizona State, if you like him. There you go, Sun Devils Jack. Forgot about that one. Alec Lindstrom from Boston College, Dylan Parham from Memphis. But those guys will also be there in round 3. For me, at least, I would almost go with the Tyler Linderbaum or bust method at center. If you don't take him in round 1, probably going to find better options at other positions later on in days 2, at least in maybe even early day 3 as well. By the way, speaking of the draft, we'll be live for every round of the NFL draft with yours truly anchoring the coverage. Link is below, youtube.com/chatsportstv. If you want daily NFL videos and, of course, the live NFL draft, hit that big red button and subscribe right now. For Brandon Edwards, sign Younghoe Koo. There is the Dan Quinn connection. My guess is the Falcons will keep him. By the way, he could be a good franchise tag candidate for the Falcons at kicker. So if he's available, sure, but I don't think that's the route the Cowboys are going to pursue. From Cooper Bowman, if you have to cut one, Coop or D-Law, who is it? I think of the value perspective of like the money saved. Cooper saves you a lot more. I would keep both of them. If you're making me pick one, I guess I'll go Cooper because I free up more money. From Brett, are you glad we didn't trade Tony Romo for J.J. Watt back in the day? I think the timing was Romo was so good for you, if I'm remembering correctly. I got flow charts out there somewhere of like why you weren't getting J.J. Watt in the trade. It was never going to happen. So, yeah, I mean, you don't trade away your QB for defensive end. And, a post-back surgery Romo, post-Dak emergence wasn't going to get you much in a trade anyway. All right, Randy Johnson. Could Dallas get Derek Stingley? Probably not, would be my answer. I think Linderbaum is a more gettable option for you. But I could see Stingley sliding, guys, which is, I think it's dumb. I think it's wrong. He was the clear CB1 entering this year. The problem is, a couple-fold here, he has missed a ton of time the past 2 seasons. And there are questions about how healthy he was, what his effort was like, if there are concerns there, his mindset. Some people call him not an alpha, he needs a big brother, etc. I don't think he falls to Dallas. He might be CB3 off the board. That probably still goes top 15. If he does slide, I wouldn't mind looking into a trade up there. Might elicit visions of Morris Claiborne, but Stingley as a true freshman at 18 years old was the best corner in college football. I think that guy's still there. If he does slide, I've got interest, but I'm not going to get my hopes up for a team that, frankly, I don't think is going to spend a premium pick this year on a corner, at least not in round 1. Now for the draft, who do you want the Cowboys to take? Keep it somewhat realistic. You're not getting Hutchinson or Thibodeau, but let me know in the comment section. Alan Williams, Super Chat. Thank you, my friend. Do you think Joseph is ready to start at CB2? Got to find out at some point, right? You spent a second-round pick on him. He played a little bit and was pretty good when he was out there. He was quite sticky in coverage, a good word to be described as for a corner. Got to throw him out there at some point. I would make him your guy. I would maybe have some insurance, whether that's Anthony Brown or somebody else, but I do want Kelvin Joseph to be your guy this year. Entire offseason he didn't have last time. Brian Parson, Kellen Moore's Garrett 2.0. Thoughts? That's the fear, right? Kellen Moore was committed to run the ball up the middle for no real reason. Didn't work out nearly as often as it should have. It was bad play calling. Didn't adjust enough. I have seen good things from Kellen Moore. We saw good things from Jason Garrett early on. If the Kellen Moore early season offense returns, I will be excited. It's not the first time we saw the Kellen Moore offense, regress. 2019, for example, that happened. We all blamed Garrett. What if it's just Kellen? That's a fair red flag, guys. That's a big concern of mine. So I hope it's not the case, but it's one to consider thinking about. All right, do you guys want free daily Cowboys videos? If you do, have you come to the right spot? Hit that big red button and subscribe right now for all things Cowboys right here on the Dallas Cowboys Report. From Rashard Lee, should we draft Sky Moore? What is this, Jeff Kavanaugh's burner account? I actually love Sky Moore too. Not nearly as high as Jeff does, but I got like a late second round grade on him. Now, maybe he goes round 3. I'm all for it. On the mock draft we did, this was before I heard Kavanaugh's draft show comments, which kind of was funny to me. I got Sky Moore in the 4th round. I don't think he's there like my mock draft had him in the most recent one because all the sims are broken. But I got interest depending on what happens at wide receiver for you this year. From Junior Estrada, should we sign J.C. Jackson? Again, are you, A, does he hit the open market? B, are you going to pay Jackson $20-ish million a year? I don't think so, so I'm not going to get my hopes up for J.C. Jackson. Andrew Guerrero, trade Cooper in a 3rd for a top 15 pick. I'd be open to it, but I wouldn't get my hopes up in terms of that being the actual deal that goes down. I think it's a bit skewed from what the NFL thinks about Cooper in Dallas' favor, although that's what I'd be wanting if I were to move on from him. Zach, DC Life, would you move Diggs to safety? No. A, his biggest problem is that he can't tackle. Diggs sucks at tackling. He's a corner. Let him be a corner. He's got to get beat less, but, the interceptions are incredible. Like, I'm not going to move on from that guy. I'm keeping him a corner where he was great this year. Don't let the PFF losers fool you. All right, from Brett, all-time favorite draft prospect. All-time favorite player was Deion Sanders. The best player, and this is based on when I scouted them, the best guy I've ever scouted was Quentin Nelson, the Colts, now former Notre Dame offensive guard. He was the number 1 player by a massive margin. There were people who didn't like that pick. They were so dumb. That guy had no flaws. Quentin Nelson was a perfect prospect, at least as close to perfect as you can find. That's my answer. From Sam Doug, sign Tyrann Mathieu. The Cowboys had their chance a long time ago, and they were too busy in the Bahamas not paying attention in free agency and wasn't a scheme fit. Stubbornness of the old regime. Not the case with Dan Quinn anymore. I think the only way you get Mathieu, though, is if you move on from Jaron Kearse. You might get Kearse cheaper than Mathieu, so I will not complain. I'm not going to get my hopes up, though, for the Honey Badger this time around. When it comes to free agency, there will be plenty of guys here. So name a player who you guys want to sign. Let me know in the comments section right now.